Alright, what's up? How's it going, everybody? Today, not only, this isn't the only thing I'm going to be doing today, but right now I'm going to be showing you a little example video. Now, this is laying the grounds for further potential videos that I make on maybe music reactions, album reviews, so on. And I'm going to be trying to make my videos more inclusive now, like not necessarily talking about other videos, but I did want to mention that, and I also want to mention that yes, I do have music in these now. It's in the background, you might be able to hear it. So to start off, my music review scheme works like a bell curve. Now the very best, like the just about perfect album, at least the best album, I don't want to say perfect, but the best album gets a 100. And as you can see here, the bell curve is getting very low to the very low on the y-axis. There's only ever one album at the 100, and 100 I'd describe it as the best album. This gets an A++ on my rating scale, which is the rating scale is where it's at, not just the numbers. The numbers aren't super important, but A++. And now the example of this album, I'll pull it up a picture. This is an audio visual, of course. So, "Wish You Were Here" by Pink Floyd, obviously the best album of all time. I'm just kidding. You're subject to your own opinion, but this is my favorite album of all time. It is what I consider the best album of all time. I don't know if it's perfect, but it's better than anything else that I've heard so far. And obviously it's a very cool picture. Maybe I'll react to this react to this cover someday. I mean, it certainly is a cool picture. So now let's head back to the bell curve here. So that was the 100. Now we go down to 9. Each one of these, I think there are 10 ticks. I'm not sure that I counted. Oh nope, I miscounted. But that doesn't matter too much. Oh my, I'm sorry. Okay, so we'll have to imagine there's a little line here or something like that. Probably here. I'd say, yeah, there. Alright, let's not get distracted though. Okay, A+ album. There's only ever about one of those at a time, although I'm sure there could be another one. Now we move down to 95 albums, which are top tier amazing albums, and those also are A+. 100's A++, this is A+. There are about 4 albums there right now. And yeah, these are the top tier of amazing albums. There are about 4 there. I'm not gonna go over too many examples here, so I don't have another example until 70. So we'll keep on moving. Now down to 90. 90 comes around here. Once again, still not very many albums. Now there are about 15 90 albums, and a 90 is an A, and these are amazing albums. About 15, like I said, amazing albums. Obviously, like, you can listen to them over and over again. I'd say we going down again to 85, which is right here. Those are awesome albums, and those are A-minuses, and there are about 30 of those. And this is the tier at which these are albums that you could listen to for end on end, still find new stuff, still really love them. It doesn't get old. There are obviously quite a few of these albums. If you noticed, there are 50 albums from here to there. So there's not much space like this, considering all albums in the world, which, I mean, that's what I'm sort of trying to compensate for. Obviously I haven't heard all albums, but considering all albums in the world, 50 down there. This bell curve's a bit broken, but that's not what's as important as the fact that there are not going to be very many albums that are truly A tier. And that's the A tier, 85 to 100. Now we move down to great albums. Alright, sorry, we skip over 80, because 80 was formerly, for me, on my ranking scale, 80 was formerly filler before I added albums over here. So we don't worry about that right now. So it's just a blank number. There are absolutely no albums that are 80s right now on my rating scale. And there probably won't be for a while, so that's irrelevant. Now we move down to 75, which is very great albums. Now you might be saying, whoa, if you're giving it a 75, those numbers don't matter. It's a bell curve. Consider the letters that I give, which very great being a B+. consider those to be more where you're looking at on if you're going from a 100 scale, like the school grading scale. So that's like an 88. That's obviously a very good album. Obviously, well, here I use the term very great, and that's what I used to describe it. Now go down to 70, and 70 albums are great. They're not as, we're in this, being in this B tier. 70 gets a B. These are not on the same scale as the other albums, but obviously they're works of their own. They're very easy to appreciate. I'm sort of into pop music, so we'll go over to my example, and that is What's the Story, Morning Glory by Oasis. I actually get their two biggest albums confused a lot, so maybe but they're both the same rating, so not too important. So yeah, great album. Not, like, obviously not an amazing album, but it's a great album. Very catchy music, Oasis. And that's as much as I positive I can say about it. But you know what? That's enough for me. And we move down from 70 to 65, which is right around here. And that is low tier great, but still great. B minuses. Now 60 is the biggest filler rating that I have, and that's for albums that are potentially on the line between good and great, need more listening before I can determine where they are, or maybe I just haven't picked a number to assign to them yet. And there are quite a few albums in that. That's probably my most prevalent, even though it's a bell curve. Right now I have the most in 60 because that's just my go-to for albums that I'm not sure about yet. Now 55, we're getting a lot of albums are going to be here. Within this period, I think, I don't know the bell curve numbers exactly, but I think this is about probably 80% of everything between the 40 and the 60. So I mean, that's a lot of albums right there. That's most albums. And these are good albums. C's, okay, but not really necessarily worth my extended time, in my opinion. So I'm not going to spend too much time considering albums in this area unless I really feel like I have something to say about them, which I probably won't if I think that they belong here. So yeah, I'm not too concerned with this. 55 to 45, so that's from here to here. Those are C's, good albums or okay albums, but like I said, not really worth an extended amount of time in my own opinion. Now we go from 40, which is a non-existent tick mark, to what is this, 30, and those are low quality, maybe low effort, but probably not. I don't really judge based off of effort. I really care more about how good it is. Not really, not worth the time. The other one's not really worth extended time. This is not worth time, not worth my time, not worth your time, in my opinion at least. But I mean, once again, your opinion always overrules mine when it comes to your own opinion, obviously. Now we go down from here, from 25 all the way down to 5, and I consider these albums failures. They pain me to listen to. I don't like to listen to them. They don't make me feel good. And my example, I have two examples from within this tier. However, one of them I feel like is a potential candidate for 0. We'll get to 0 after we show these. After I show the first one, and I'll go over here. This album I gave it 20, so I think this is a failure, and it hurts me to listen to. And that's, oh wow, oh I skipped over this. This is an example of the 50 album, a very average album, good album. I think the average album is actually a good album. I mean, like, this is a good album, an okay album. Spoon, I like that band. Spoon's a good band. Not great, not worth listening to that much, in my opinion, for me. Now this is what I consider a bad album. It hurts me to listen to this album, Green Day's American Idiot. That has one pretty good song on it. Other than that, it's just painful to listen to. I don't like it. It's very repetitive music. I'm not gonna like try and roast this music, try and go overkill and like talk about how much I hate it. But alright, so 0. I have not yet to find a 0 album. I have a lot of albums that I've rated 5 recently, and that's just because sort of to keep my average down. I'll be honest here. It's a bit mean of me, but we'll go over down here. Precious Memories by Jim Nabors. Jim Nabors is a bad singer. He doesn't write his own songs. Pretty much all of his albums are compilation albums, and I really don't like compilation albums. And he's the closest it gets to a 0 right now. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this is really cleared up. Well, not cleared up, but